Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Debbie and I am Debbie Drama, and I do book reviews, theatre reviews. Sometimes I might even take you backstage because I act, and basically I've got another book review today. This book is The Land of the Golden Apple by Makis, and to be honest, when I started reading it I wasn't sure if it was a book for me, but I kept reading it through and I finished it on my shift at the theatre the other night, and this was kind of a heartbreaking book, I guess. It says it's a bewitching coming of age novel. I'll read you the blurb because as you can see it's an actual physical book. Normally I'm reviewing stuff from my ebooks, but yeah, it's an actual physical book, so I've got the blurb on the back of the book. Spring has come to this Cypriot village, bringing with it an open invitation for Socrates to indulge in his favourite pastimes, setting off homemade fireworks, tormenting local pensioners, spying on his brother's girlfriends, and defying his mother. An uneasy truce is reached after an unfortunate incident with a box of matches, and a lazy peace is restored. But behind the scenes, in this seemingly idyllic backwater, an abused wife plots revenge on her husband, a scheming miser falls in love, and a dangerous predator stalks the innocent. Spring brings a rude awakening to all of the villagers, and Socrates in particular. The jasmine-scented air carries with it real menace that will shake this close-knit community to its very core. So at first you've got the story of Socrates. He's a young boy. It says that one of his favourite pastimes is setting off homemade fireworks. He has a bit of an obsession with fire and lighting fires, not just the fireworks, which is how you're kind of introduced to Socrates in the first place. You're introduced to him and his fascination with fire and watching it spread. So straight away it kind of gets you thinking that you're not sure if you're supposed to like this kid. But throughout the book you learn about his family, you learn about his friends and their families, and you've got these different stories kind of intertwining. So you've got the story of Socrates and his homemade fireworks, and then through him you kind of see everybody else's stories. So you've got the abused wife and her husband, also known as just the cab driver. You've got the young man who falls in love even though he's usually a womanizer, and then you've also got this other little story kind of coming in. I say little, it's quite an important plot point, of when you realise that there is actually somebody who is kind of stalking the young men. It was definitely an interesting read. When you start off, when you introduce Socrates and his fireworks and everything else, and then you see him with his friends and how much danger they're bringing to their friends through this obsession with fire and fireworks, and you come to realise these are boys who are growing up. It's a very weird time in their lives because they're going through puberty, and you've also got this thing where they're kind of on edge when they realise that there is a very sick man who is seducing some of the boys. I say seducing, it's not the wrong word. He's a predator, and he is targeting the young boys in the area. And so when that storyline comes in, it almost turns into a whodunit kind of, because you're trying to figure out who of the people you've been introduced to in the book is the predator. And so it's not just a coming of age thing, it's got a mystery in there. You've got this gentleman who is just letting the kids get up to whatever they want, but who's not really aware of what's going on. He becomes kind of a target in a way. I don't want to say too much without spoiling it all, because the way the stories intertwine does give away certain plot points. So I'm not going to say much more about it, but I will say it was sad to read, it was funny, As I said, you know, there's certain points in it when your heart breaks for them, and it's just, it was, I won't say it's a nice book in a way, because you've got the backdrop of them being in Cyprus. This is the kind of book that I'd almost expect to become a movie at some point. I don't actually know when this book was released. First publication in Great Britain in 2008. But yes, so I never heard of it before, and I think this was one that my parents actually picked up in Cyprus, because they went to Cyprus for a holiday, and so it even says it's €12.80 on the back, so it wasn't bought in the UK, but it's a beautiful story. There's points when you get angry for them, there's points when you are sad for them, there's points when you almost want to beat certain people up, because there's, especially with the abuse storyline in it, I think it's quite clever how you don't really, I mean, I think they mentioned his name early in the beginning, but most of the time the abuser is referred to as just the cab driver or the taxi driver, so it doesn't give you any opportunity to try to see the human side of him by using his name, which I think is a clever way to do it, because the point is you're not supposed to identify with him. He is the baddie, he's abusing his kids, he's abusing his wife, and he's abusing everybody around him by making people think that they are the ones at fault and not him. And as you can see, there's of all the stories that are told in here, the abuse one is one that gets focused on. I wouldn't say it was the main focus of the story, but it's that story kind of helps to tie into everything else, and you're really pushing for the abuser to kind of get his comeuppance, which in a way he does, in a way he doesn't. It kind of depends on how you see it, and I wouldn't say interpret, because that's the wrong word to use. I'd say it is more about whether you think how it ends is his comeuppance. Yeah, I'll just leave it like that. It's hard to describe how I feel about this book, but yeah, I did very much enjoy reading it, and I just remember after I read the final page, I had to read it again, because I just wanted to make sure that I hadn't missed anything. But yes, so it's Land of the Golden Apple by Makis, and I'm not sure how many pages is it. It's 350 pages long. I must admit, I mean, it sounds like it should be a long one, but it's quite a small book. I mean, like, when I compare it to other books on my bookshelf, sorry, because my bookshelf is behind you right now, but when I compare it to other books on my bookshelf, this looked like quite a small, fairly easy read, and it was an easy read because there is so much stuff happening. It's kind of like watching a series where you've got lots of different stories intertwining. But yeah, so I enjoy this book. If you like kind of the coming of age type novels, if you like a good mystery, there is a good mystery in here to kind of keep you hooked. That's this week's book. So thanks for watching. My name is Debbie. If you aren't subscribed already, please do. There'll be a little subscribe thing right about here. But yeah, if you want to put on the bell notification so you know exactly when I upload, please do. I upload every single Wednesday. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Mwah.